I'm going to start with my yellow onion. I just have it peeled, prepped, and washed. And I'm going to use my cheese grater to grate it because I want the moisture and the flavor of the onion just to marinate into my meatloaf. This is about a half of a large yellow onion or a half cup. I have one large clove of garlic. I'm going to shred it because you want everything just to marinate and cook into your meatloaf. I'm not going for any type of, I guess, chunkiness as far as what I'm adding to it. I'm using this 80% lean, 20% fat. It's grass-fed ground beef, and just adding this to my bowl. And you want a bit of fat in there because that's going to bring out the taste. My large clove of garlic, which you see me shred, and my shredded yellow onion. 1 tablespoon or maybe a bit more of some beef bouillon. 1 tablespoon or maybe a bit more of some parsley flakes. Adding some garlic powder. Even if I have the fresh garlic in there, this does bring off a different taste. So you want to add a bit of that in. Some onion powder. Some salt. Some pepper. You could use salted if you like, but I have just some regular saltine crackers. These are unsalted. You know, when it comes to the crackers, salted, unsalted, these are just great value brand. And I'm going to just add probably half of this that comes in the package. Now I'm going to add my 2 eggs. These are medium size. Throwing that in my little garbage back there. You could use your hands, use gloves, or use a fork because this works just as good. And let's start to mix everything together. This is how it should be looking after you mix it. Mix it with a good spoon or use some gloves and get in there and just make sure everything's nice and mixed. My meatloaf pan has went missing in action. So this is what I have and this is what I'm going to use. Forgive me if I ran out of kitchen gloves, but I'm forming my meatloaf. I washed my hands because I know that bothers some people. So now that I flip it over, I'm going to go ahead and just make sure this side looks just as good. And just form a loaf. Now that I have my meatloaf all ready and I have a loaf formed in my pan, I am going to lightly salt and pepper my loaf. No salt added tomato sauce. I'm using just tomato sauce to put on top of my meatloaf. And I'm going to use the whole can, which is a 8-ounce can. And you could use ketchup, you could use salted, you could use whatever you like, but right now I'm using some tomato sauce. It's no salt added, and this is what I do. So whatever you want to top it with, whether it's just regular salted tomato sauce or ketchup, whatever you want to do you. Sprinkle this with some parsley. Now that we have everything ready to go, I'm going to cover this with some tin foil. I'm just using a fork and I'm going to pop a couple holes in the top. I have my oven preheated at 350. You want to cook this for about 45 to 60 minutes or until your instant read thermometer that you insert into the center reads about 160. So cooking at 350 prevents the outside from burning before the inside's fully cooked. So let's get this in the oven and let's get this cooking. This is my take on meatloaf. Add whatever sides you like. I have some smashed red skin potatoes with some corn. You could add mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, green beans, whatever you like. Just try this out because you're gonna love it. And I'll see you in my next upload.